it stops, no one knows. We're going head into the unknown. Na, 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 na.
Well, hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome back to Criminality, or if this is your first time here, welcome to Criminality. Sleuthy and I are covering the part 2 of the Jerry Holeman deposition in the Delphi case. We did a couple days ago, we did part 1. So if you guys missed that, make sure you go back and watch it. If you want just a quick summary of some of the highlights of it, make sure you head over to Andy Cops's channel. One of the wrenches can drop her link. And she did about an hour of a few of the main attractions, if you will, of this deposition, because it is like 274 pages long. So Sleuthy and I are actually reading it verbatim. So if you're looking for a short synopsis, please make sure you guys go watch Andy Cops's. And thank you, Andy, for letting us read the deposition too. So I apologize. I know that we had said we were going to be back the next day to do part 2, but Sleuthy and I have had some just odd scheduling conflicts, so it just hasn't worked out time-wise. So I'm glad that we're able to do it tonight. We're going to get through hopefully the second half, but if we don't, obviously, then we'll just do a part 3 if that's what it comes down to, because sometimes we talk a lot and you know, we get off track on
sometimes
going through side missions to find either old transcripts or old information that contradicts what the lovely idiot Jerry Holeman has to say. So for anybody who's doing a read along with us, we are on page 142 of the deposition. So if you wanted to read along on your own, that's where we're at. But there's something I wanted to touch on prior to getting to where we were, when we left off. Was they were talking about fingerprints at the scene. And now I'm trying to find where that was. So give me a second. Let me see if I can find it.
I also want to say he said there was a fingerprint on the bullet.
He said there was male DNA on the bullet.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, and then we went back and found that there was DNA, but it wasn't enough to actually test anything.
He's so dumb. I feel like he would say there was a male fingerprint.
He would say that too. He would say that too. So it's we'll start with fingerprints, any type of fingerprints extracted from the scene, and he says no. So this was a clip that I had made, I don't even know when, like a long time ago, based on Tobe Lesenby and what Tobe and other people had to say about what was at the scene and what wasn't. So I wanted to kind of touch on this too, especially, you know, after trial, we learn more about the DNA and the fact that there was a ISP DNA on the sweatshirt that they put into CODIS. So let me just grab this really quick so I can show you guys. So I just thought this was kind of interesting too. Oh, wrong one. Oopsie, sorry, wrong case.
Is it fair?
Why is it doing that?
That's that same thing.
Yeah, but why is it doing that?
Is it fair?
I'm like literally playing the right one, and it's like not wanting me to have it. Hold on.
Is it fair to say
There we
there
go.
is a lot of physical evidence in this case?
I'm going to say there's a lot of evidence. I know there was at least 4 different crime scene technicians working that, and they worked it for almost 4 full days.
A lot of tracks, cigarette butts, believe it or not, this is kind of disgusting, but you had spit, people would urinate. I mean,
There were some fingerprints collected.
Do you know if those fingerprints belong to the killer?
That I do not know.
And same with DNA. You have DNA.
Yes.
Do you have his DNA?
And we don't know.
So interesting that when I made this video, Jerry Holeman had said there was no fingerprints or DNA. Did you guys see that in there?
He's just
You got a case that this person's never committed a crime before. We have,
He would feel that he had never committed a crime. He has no DNA in the database.
well, I can't comment on that, but I'm just saying that's what it looks like. I mean, the possibility he's done something that we can't find any cases.
Is it fair to say there is a lot of physical evidence in this case?
I'm going to say there's a lot of evidence. I know there was at least 4 different crime scene technicians working that, and they worked it for almost 4 full days.
A lot of tracks, cigarette butts. Believe it or not, this is kind of disgusting, but you had spit. People would urinate. I mean,
There were some fingerprints collected.
Do you know if those fingerprints belong to the killer?
That I do not know.
And same with DNA. You have DNA.
Yes.
Do you have his DNA?
And we don't know.
There's just one of those situations where you got a case that this person's never committed a crime before. We have,
He would feel that he had never committed a crime. He has no DNA in the database.
well, I can't comment on that, but I'm just saying that's what it looks like. I mean, the possibility he's done something that we can't find any cases.
Is it?
So it's interesting that years ago during the Down the Hill podcast with Barb McDonald, there was still people contradicting what type of evidence they even had. You've got one saying there is DNA and that the perpetrators never committed a crime before because we know they put it into CODIS and it popped with nothing because eventually it comes back that it's actually contaminated evidence. Ironic that isn't a bigger issue in this trial, that there is contaminated evidence to begin with. And then you cut out, honey.
I said that related to custody of the
Oh yeah, the defense stipulated to the chain of custody. So anyway, so I just thought it was kind of an interesting thing because Holeman says no fingerprints. Tobe says yes fingerprints. We talked a little bit about Tobe in part 1 on the fact that Tobe is just like vanished. Nobody wants to claim Tobe. Nobody wants to talk about Tobe. It's like he doesn't exist in the world of Delphi any longer.
Well, I think it's probably just that am I echoing?
You are, yeah, you have like a weird echo going on.
Unshare your screen. Am I still echoing?
It's almost like you're kind of cutting out a little bit. Try it again. Talk again.
Let me just go in and out. Wait a minute. It sounds fine now.
Yeah, is it good? Okay.
Yeah. That's weird. Now share your screen. I wonder if that weird thing's happening again.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, no, I sound normal.
Yeah, so it's just when I shared the audio. So I think we should be good now.
Okay.
That means someone should interview Tobe. I don't know if Tobe would even talk, to be honest with you.
Oh, what I was going to say was, by the time Jerry did this deposition, they had Richard Allen. So whatever they were talking about before didn't match Richard Allen. So now that they have Richard Allen, it's almost like we have to pretend we don't have certain things because it doesn't match Richard Allen.
Right.
So back then they had spit and urine and everything else. And it's like, then it pretends like there's nothing there because it doesn't match Rick.
Michael said that he just listened to an hour and a half of the Tweedles misstating the evidence on their book tour. I don't even know how you put yourself through that, to be honest with you. I can't. I used to be able to just deal with it. I can't anymore. I just can't do it. I don't know how you can do it. It's like I want to pull my hair out. It's like I literally, like when I listen to anything like that, I feel like that meme that's just like, oh shit, like I don't even know. I don't know how to describe it. I have to find it. I think I'm like going down a rabbit hole of here that makes no sense. Let backtrack and erase that from the entire equation. They do. I mean, they're idiots. Yeah. Like there's no intelligent life anywhere. That's right. That's like the meme I see. Hi, Shibby. So let me say hi to you guys really quick because I didn't even get to say hi to anybody in chat, but thank you guys for being here. Hi, Michael. I know I just read your comment. Hi, Mar. Hi, Laura. Hi, the Royal We. What's up, Andy? Shibby, I just said hi to you. Hey, Lacey. Hi, Nicole. What's up, Mother of Dragons? Oh, let's see. Hi, Tiri Shaboogies. Hi, Brienne. Hi, Sorcerer Tree. What's up, Amy? Hi, Judy. Hi, Leanne. What's up, CH? Hi, Travis. Let me see who else is up here. What's up, Bean? Hi, Chelsea. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Classic Overthinker. What's up, Just Jen? Carla, I don't know if I said hi to you. I did see you earlier, so hi, Carla. Let me see. I'm scrolling. If I miss you, I apologize. Is anything they say true? No, Nicole. It's not. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Luna. Hi, I don't recall. Holy shnikes, I saw you earlier in here. Hello. What's up, Oksana? All right. Hi, Carrie Cherry. Hey, Louise. This is so dirty. It's dirty. What's up, True Crime with Eve? Hey, Post-Punk Mama. What's up, T-Dub? Unindicted lurking whilst committing fire and genocide. Oh, gosh. Fun with that. Hi, Queen of the Hill. Okay, so Travis is talking about tool marks. So let me go back up to his other comment because it was interesting, and then there's a second comment to it. So, there's a problem. There is a problem. This tool mark evidence, the national database, is coming back with quote unquote hits that are confirmed with DNA that are solving cold cases. They still have a problem on quote unquote unspent. And then he says, point being, tool mark cartridge evidence in general is getting more and more solid and more difficult to get a court to just toss as junk science. All the issues about not allowing defense experts. I'm assuming there's a third one somewhere coming.
I just feel like if they would have been able to have a hearing, they could have explained that we're talking about comparing a fired round to an unfired round. I just don't see how that's credible.
I don't either. I don't know how that wasn't like a bigger issue for anybody, but the one juror that we heard from said that they didn't even consider the unspent round or the tool mark stuff. Like it wasn't even
they
important.
did, though. I think
they had to have. See, literally
that was the only thing that put Bridge Guy at the scene.
Right. Which doesn't make sense because there's no proof Bridge Guy had a gun.
Right. Besides
dumbasses on the stand like Mullen being like, that be a gun. So, hey, Bobby.
That be a gun.
That be a gun. Oh, thanks for joining, Queen of the Hill.
Shibby's right. She's never been wrong, so.
Yes. Oberg's subjective opinions are never wrong. Don't dare question her. I just can't wrap my mind around the fact that anybody thinks if what she did was okay, why didn't she do it with any of the other guns that they tested?
Right. Like Weber's, for example, she said that she couldn't exclude his. Well, did she try to fire it and then see if she could exclude it or say it was a match? No. So why did she take that extra step with Rick?
Because she couldn't get it to match.
Right.
And that's why I feel like everything is manufactured backwards. It's like, let's figure out how do we make it match? Like, it has to match. Get it to match. Figure out how to make it all match. It all has to fit.
From what I understand, it still didn't match.
No. It just had the 3 prongs.
Mm-hmm.
Michael said the Tweedles are still telling the white van fairy tale. Well, that's because they live in a dirty fairy tale.
Well, and they wrote it in their book, so now they gotta kind of stick with that.
Yeah, they wrote all kinds of shit in that book. I hope that somebody is suing the shit out of them, but I don't know.
So did you see that one of the Intel analysts that we read, their name appears in their book in the acknowledgments.
You're fucking kidding me.
Nope.
Which one? Is it the S one?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. That be a leaker.
That be a leaker. And hyphenated last
Yeah, the
name.
hyphenated. Yeah.
they
Not
think
Jasmine. I remember Jasmine.
Yeah, that's a dude. It's her name started with like an S. Here, hold on. I don't know why nothing wants to fucking load. There we go. Or I should just look for Jazz. Hold on, let's find Jazz.
Yeah, she's right before that.
Yeah.
Jazzmun.
Stacy
Yep.
Gosnell Day.
Yep. That's the one.
Okay, hold on. I gotta go see this. Let's see. Hold on. Let me take this down really quick. Where? Oh, where? Did I stick their stink ass book?
Hold on. Courtney sent me. Hold on.
Is that what she was talking about in chat when she was here on part 1?
I don't know. I wasn't reading the chat really.
Yeah, side quest activated. Maybe I deleted it.
Here, I'll send you. She sent me. A screenshot that had both, like, the part of the book highlighted and then right here. Here you go. Save. I'll send it on Messenger. Now it's in your Messenger.
Oh my god.
You really can't make this shit up.
I'm surprised that there's no interview with her.
Shadow of the
Let me
fridge.
see.
What the fuck with the murder shits?
So fucking dirty. I mean, just in the way they live and in the way they do quote unquote business.
None of us had heard their name. Her, Gosnell Day, and Jasmine. Nobody's heard them names before. But then we find out when we read this deposition, which was not released by them, like in the trial stuff.
No, they would not want this out.
Yeah, because this was part of this is one of the depositions that was included in the Frank's memo exhibits. So they didn't think this was coming out. So then we all of a sudden see their names, and her name appears in the murder sheets book. Come on.
Oh, so this is going to be one of those, she reached out to us. We didn't even know who she was, and she reached out to us, and we believe everything she had to say. Like, what?
We keep all of our sources. We keep all our sources secret until we write a book and we list every single fucking one of them. And
name the shit out of them.
Yep.
And if we don't like them anymore, then we bash the shit out of them.
Yep.
Figola's sauce. I think they disappeared from the face of the earth too.
I agree with that. Murder Sheets acknowledgement is a threat to everyone who shared shit with them.
Yeah. Like, we know your name, bitches. I don't know. Like I said, they're fucking dirty. And of course, Yellow figured this out. She was saying something in chat when she was here, and I wasn't picking up what she was putting down, and now I get it. She's got a memory like a freaking elephant. She's like, I know each and every one of those fucking names. Okay. Oh.
All right, go to page 142.
I am. I am. Let's get back on track here.
They're way worse than Krusty, though. Like Krusty times 10,000. Because they purport to be journalists and they go on court TV and they write, 5-episode hit pieces, reading people's private text messages and talking shit about lawsuits that other people filed that have nothing to do with them.
All right, so where we left off, we had gone on a potty break for Nick because he can't. He has a tiny bladder, so he has to go potty a lot. So
Or
they
an
went on.
enlarged prostate.
They went on their potty break, and now they're coming back. So, like I was telling you guys, if you guys want to read along, we're on page 142. Hey, all eyes. As we've done with all the other depositions, Sleuthy is Holeman, the witness, and I am the all-encompassed attorney, doing my best to make sure you guys know which attorney is doing the questioning. So we are still with Brad Rosie at this point, and so we're back on the record with the state versus Richard Allen. We took kind of a short lunch break, and we're still in the process of conducting the deposition of Officer Holeman. Like he calls him Officer. Officer Holeman. I just had, obviously over the break, I had a couple of thoughts come to mind that I didn't ask you about. One of them is we talked about voice analysis earlier. Do you remember talking about that?
I do.
Let's kind of revisit that. So with this particular video, I've forgotten now, 43 seconds, is that right?
Sounds about right.
We're all talking about the same video from the High Bridge.
Yes.
Is that the only video that you're aware that exists?
Yes.
And is that the totality of the video?
Yes.
In that video that were some words that were spoken down the hill were kind of the most notable ones.
Mm-hmm.
You're generally familiar with that.
I am.
Was there ever any conclusions drawn about who it was that was speaking those words?
The words that you mentioned?
Yes.
About, hey, girls down the hill?
Okay, I cannot figure that out at all. The girls,
I don't know why they keep saying that either.
Until later. Yeah.
The person on the bridge that they encountered, which we believe is Richard Allen.
And do you agree with me that when you watch that video that there's really no way to tell if the person on the bridge is actually speaking words from a movement standpoint?
On the video?
Yeah.
That's correct.
I mean, just to make sure we agree generally on the fact, like you can't see his mouth moving or the person's mouth moving or whatever, right?
That's correct. When he talks, the video is pointing towards the ground.
Was there ever any discussion about the possibility that that sound could have come from somebody else?
No.
Bullshit. That is bullshit. There are multiple episodes on that. Oh, fuck. Now I want to go find it.
That the person that you see is not necessarily the voice on the recording.
Cannot prove that the person talking is the person we see.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody even thought about that possibility, at least in the context of your unified command meetings.
No.
So you were just making the assumption that the sound came from that particular individual.
I think a realistic view would be the person that encountered them during that. Like you said, it was only 43 seconds. So there was no other people around in the video at that time. So it had to come from Libby, Abby, or the man on the bridge.
It's possible. I mean, we can get into this likely versus possible argument, which cops and lawyers do all the time. But it's possible there could have been somebody that wasn't in the video that was speaking too.
Realistically, no. But possibly, yes. That's what you just...
It's so fucking stupid. I just sometimes I don't know how Rosie sits there and has these conversations with this man. He's like, realistically, no, but possibly yes. Like, the guy can't answer a straight question to save his fucking life. The video is not helpful in some regards because it doesn't give us a panoramic view of what was going on.
It's very helpful, but it would have been more helpful if it had a panoramic view, yeah.
And so I'm going to close this up by just asking this last question, just from a technological standpoint. You weren't able to somehow connect that sound from that particular person on the bridge.
No.
Let's talk about other suspects, okay? Let's start with Ron Logan. You're familiar with Ron Logan?
Yes.
Was Ron Logan a suspect in this case?
Yes.
Oh, fuck, he actually answered honestly. And is it fair to say that there was a collective approach to investigating him as a suspect? In other words, all the agencies were participating in that.
Yes.
He was garnering that much interest, basically, that you were kind of throwing all your resources at that.
Yes.
Was there a point in time when Ron Logan was definitively excluded as a suspect in this case?
I believe so, yes.
Doesn't even fucking know. When did that occur?
I don't know the exact time, but he obviously becomes a prime suspect when we find 2 homicide victims on your property. So therefore, we started looking into Ron Logan, a collective. And again, this is me as a supervisor. I did not interview him. I may remember some people that did. I didn't participate in the search warrant, although I went there to took the guy's water, whatever. But when what I remember being briefed on was Ron Logan went that morning of around 11:53ish to drop off trash at what they call the transfer station, which is the dump. And he was there about 5-10 minutes, went back to his house around 12, we believe. Later on, I'm unclear if he actually called a cousin or the cousin actually came over, but a cousin. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. But because Ron Logan was, I believe, HTB or driving while suspended, he was on probation. He would drive anyway, and he would always have a cover story if he got caught or whatever. And he ended up going to a fish store in Lafayette where they have him buying some fish. And I think the time was off. I think it was 4:44 was the time of the receipt or whatever. It might have been that they didn't change the clocks, so it might have been closer to 5:55. But then he went back.
The clock that changes it by 1 minute on each line.
Fucking idiot.
Instead of it being 5:44, it becomes 5:55. This fucking guy, dude, is so dumb.
He can't even convert time.
Changed it by an hour and 11 minutes.
He said, but then he went back home, made some comments on his phone dump. We see that he is telling people that he got new fish and put them in the aquarium and letting them acclimate. So with all that, it would have been very difficult with the time frame for him to be able to, go out there and do what he did. So we believe with the time frame and other information that we did everything else we could, search warrants, phone dumps, and all that. There was no evidence located indicating he was involved in murder in Abby and Libby. And then, as you know, he died. He passed away. A couple of weeks after that, Unified Command decided to have Jay Harper, who did a lot with Ron Logan, him and the FBI, contact his son and see if maybe he said anything incriminating to his son. He said no. His son in an interview stated that he would not go out on that bridge. He was deathly afraid of heights. He wouldn't let him go to the area of the property because it was too dangerous. So just the totality of the circumstances, we believe that Ron Logan was not involved. There's just no evidence indicating his involvement. That was the longest answer to a simple question.
And ironic that they were still investigating him after he died.
He died.
And that, yeah. And that the son just is like, yeah, no. So they're like, okay, I guess we'll let that go. Once again, like nobody's cooperating. So I guess we're just going to end that investigation. But up until even after he died, they still thought it was him. So his whole bullshit about, he wouldn't have had time to do what he did. Why then 2.5? Wait, when did he die? 2022? No. Shit. When did he die? 2020 or 2022?
I thought it was right after COVID.
He supposedly died from COVID, but then there was but I think that they said that and it wasn't right. And there was always this I can't remember which one it is now. My brain is like not working. 2021. There was always 2 dates. There was always 2 dates, 2 years.
January 2021. January 2022.
Yeah, January 2022.
I hate
Because
you
I
people.
said it was 2020, but I think it was January 2022 because he supposedly died from complications due to COVID. Yeah, they had to blame someone else since he died because nobody's gonna be okay with that. Holy shnikes. And a lot of people say, like, if they wanted to just pin it on somebody, they could have just pinned it on Ron Logan because he was dead. And it's like, no, idiots. The public would not be okay to pin it on somebody who's dead. They need the sacrificial lamb. The
Right.
public wants that. That's the only way they're going to have the closure in the case that they thought they were going to get.
All right, keep going.
So, because he's no longer alive and you've talked to his son, yeah, you've kind of cleared him. So he's not part of any ongoing investigation.
Before that, we stopped the investigation. Once we determined that timeline, after the search warrant, and we searched his house for a full day and no evidence.
Did you ever discover that he had any connection with either one of those girls?
No.
Of these girls? Or my client?
No.
Was there any forensic evidence that in any way connected him with that scene?
No. No evidence whatsoever.
Whether it be like DNA evidence or fingerprints or even digital forensic evidence?
No.
Do you recall administering a polygraph or him participating in a polygraph?
I remember he did participate. It was, I don't remember. I think it was John Eager, and he used a different technique that wasn't approved by the FBI and state police. And they were like, let's not have him do polygraphs anymore.
They're the ones who wouldn't give him his teeth, but kept giving him hard food. Let's see if he tells the truth. We don't. It's a different technique, but we should try it.
He did a few, but I don't know what the technique is because I'm not a polygraph examiner, but I know we stopped using Mr. Eager because of that. He was adamant that he was showing deception on some of the questions, but we'd have to get that report. I wasn't involved in that.
So Mr. Eager was used. Was he only used for this purpose, this one polygraph, or did he do...
No, I believe he did some others, and he was using a different technique. And eventually, after reviewing, I didn't, but after other officers reviewed it, they said, hey, this isn't right. They talked to, I think, Matt Collins and Seth Thompson and some other polygraph examiners. And they said, yeah, he's using this different technique. It's not reliable. It's not.
Who did this guy work for?
West Lafayette PD.
How long had he worked for them?
I don't know. Probably a while.
So the West Lafayette Police Department was using a polygraph examiner that was employing a technique that was not acceptable to other examiners that you worked with.
That's correct. Now, I don't know if he used that during their investigations.
Is he still working there?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
You'll never use him again, right?
No, we try to use.
Because of what you learned about this circumstance.
Right, and we try to use our own. It's just more convenient. Oh my God, another fucking break?
Mr. McLean, is it okay if we take a break for a minute? Rosie says, yeah. No idea what that was for. So they come back and Rosie says, so this gentleman conducted other exams in the case, and there became a point when you were concerned about the technique he was using. So essentially you chose not to use him anymore.
Yes.
I mean, some people would say he kind of got fired, but he's still working for the Lafayette Police Department.
Right.
So the results that you were getting from the exams were apparently raising some suspicions about the technique.
I'm not sure exactly what raised the suspicion about the technique, but I think it was a new technique that he learned. I don't know the specifics. All I know is after reviewing, after some other officers reviewed these, he's so purposeful in making sure that you understand that he did nothing and it was all other people that did everything.
Yeah, he did nothing. I didn't know that. I don't know that. I know nothing.
They brought it to our attention, Unified Command, and said the FBI and the state police recognized that this wasn't a proper technique and asked us not to use him anymore, and we agreed. And Unified Command agreed that we weren't going to use him in that capacity. I don't know if he did a couple after that or before. I don't know how many he did, but we could definitely find out. I just don't know.
So presumably then you would have called Ron Logan and said, hey, we need to do this again because we just went through this and our technique wasn't appropriate?
I think as the investigation furthered with the information I already told you, we didn't feel it necessary to do another polygraph. We had enough information that wouldn't put him in that area. It would have been very, 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 very difficult for him to be able to be in all of those places.
So you didn't re-examine him?
Not to my knowledge.
You didn't even try, really?
No, I don't think so.
Did you talk to his son only one time?
I never talked to his son. Jay Harper did.
Your team?
We talked to him multiple times.
Were there any lay witnesses that communicated to you that they felt that Ron Logan was responsible for this to the extent that it had some substance to it? I know there might be some in Georgia or Alabama or Utah or something.
We had tips on him, but it was a general tip that we got on a lot of people. He looks like him, sounds like him. That was pretty much it.
When you were comparing Ron Logan's movements with the circumstances at the trail, you concluded that essentially he had, I'm going to say, an alibi for your time frame.
Yes.
Do you agree to the extent this could have happened later in the evening, that he actually was out at his property during that time period?
I think all the evidence indicates it happened between 2:30 and 3:30.
When Ron was fucking home? Like, I don't, well, I'm talking hypothetically.
Hypothetically, if it happened at night, then yes, Ron Logan could have been there.
Was there anybody that was able to account for his whereabouts at the time?
No, other than his phone data showed him at home.
He lived alone, right?
He lived alone.
So he didn't have a wife that said, oh, you know, we were watching some sitcom or Netflix or anything?
No, he did not.
Did anyone that either knew Ron Logan or was a family member of Ron Logan tell you or your team that he was a violent man, that he had violent tendencies?
I don't know of a family member. I know there were some ex-girlfriends, if you could call them that said that when he was drinking, he would become verbally abusive. I don't know if those ever got physical. I don't recall that. But we did have some information that he
had a little mean streak in him?
Yes.
What about guns and knives? Did he own guns?
He did. Actually, we did 2 search warrants. So initially when this happened, I know it was a detective, A.J. Smith from the state police was looking into him driving, and he was on probation. So we did a probation check, and we took quite a few guns. None of them matched the caliber or make that we believed expended that round.
What about knives?
I don't recall him having a lot of knives, but I'd have to look. I believe there were, but I'd have to check. I know that we took some long guns. I can't remember handguns, but I do know from the briefs that nothing matched what we were looking for.
Did you know Ron Logan to be associated with any extremist groups? You know, ritualistic type groups, anything like that?
No.
Whatsoever?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Keegan Klein, a man that's fresh, a human that's fresh on everybody's radar. So was he a suspect?
Yes.
And is he still a suspect?
I think he's suspected of communicating with the girls, like I said, but the evidence through our investigation indicates that he was not in the area during the time of the homicides. I just have to say something there. So simply communicating with the girls isn't a crime. So, and none of his CSAM charges have Libby listed as like a victim. So
right.
What crime of communication is he still currently suspected of? It's not a crime to just talk to Libby.
No, or to know that she's going to the bridge.
Right. So what is the crime he's still being investigated as?
The only way that you could show that that had anything to do with anything is if you had communications after communicating with Libby and Keegan or Anthony Schatz or whomever
telling someone else they were going to
somebody else, hey, Libby or there'll be 2 girls at the bridge at about this time.
Right.
That's the only way that you can implicate him in anything that has to do with anything. I think he's the only person who suspects him of that is Jerry. Is Jerry.
100%.
And he can't even prove He can't, like, there's never been any proof to the public that the communication showed anything about Keegan meeting them at the bridge. Nothing.
Yeah, and he's obsessed with it.
Yes. Well, because they spent so much money. So this is also an interesting side note, which I guess I didn't put together. AJ Smith is the fella who filed the fake report against Ange.
Yeah, he's a trash bag.
Interesting. Why would he be involved in that?
Well, with his friends, Onion and Plevin.
Jeez. Okay.
Because it was that she was coming there to whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so and was he kind of like Ron Logan, another person where there were considerable resources from all of your agencies that were directed toward him?
Yes.
Did Keegan Kline ever admit that he actually participated in this crime? I meant that he knowingly, willingly played some role in this crime.
Yes.
Tell me what that admission was.
He admitted to setting up a meeting with his dad and a guy in Delphi initially. He changed his story and said that it was him and his dad. And he said that he rode over to the bridge and his dad went to meet the girls and he stayed in the Jeep. I believe it was a red Jeep, which we located that Jeep, searched it, didn't find any evidence indicating anything that Keegan said. He also said they threw some items off the bridge. We searched the bridge. We found no items.
You didn't search the fucking bridge, idiot.
And also, you didn't find any evidence in Rick's car either. We used every investigative technique that we could to try to find evidence indicating that he was involved, and we could not, other than he admitted to being Anthony Schatz and communicating with the girls and setting the meeting up.
Do you have any doubt in your mind that he was Anthony Schatz?
No.
Kind of an alter ego or whatever phrase they use in pop culture these days?
No doubt.
In fact, he was basically in some ways kind of and admitted indirectly to some of that recently in Miami County, right?
Yes.
Was there ever a time when you definitively excluded him because of an alibi?
No.
It's kind of an odd question because he's not giving you an alibi. He's saying he's there, but I assume you were working the reverse angle to vet his credibility.
Right.
That's why I asked the question.
Right. I understand your question. So the reason that we eliminated him from actually being at the crime scene is because we know he didn't ride with his dad on the route that he took because the video shows. We also know that he is actively downloading child porn on his phone at a residence in Peru during the time that we believe the crimes occurred.
So you have some digital forensic evidence that he was active on the computer or his phone, you said, at the time that you believe these things occurred?
During the time frame that we believe these crimes occurred, yes, he was actively using his phone.
Hey, Criminal Network. Do you know the location of the phone when it was being used?
Yes.
Is this through the geofencing technique? Forgive me if I'm misunderstanding you. The question is, do you know the location of the phone?
Yes.
When he was actively using it?
Yes.
Where?
It was at his residence in Peru.
How do you know that?
Through the forensic evidence, I was told that they could find out through phone records that it was being actively used in that area with the data. I can't explain geofence, data dump. I know I was given a report orally, not a written report. There is one, but I was told that he was on his phone in Peru at his residence.
So you're told his phone is in use in Peru at his residence, but I don't know why I feel like that phone wasn't being used.
Which phone? He had about 6. Which phone was being used at his residence? Where were the other phones? It's just stupidity.
Yeah, I don't remember all the details to this, but it's not rubbing me the right way that this is an accurate report of what we were told. Did you go back to Keegan Kline after you learned this information and have another communication, a meeting with him?
Yes, we did.
What was his explanation for your findings?
He had no explanation for it.
Did he continue to acknowledge his responsibility for part of this?
He changed his story quite a bit, but yes,
But it was consistent in that he said he was there.
that his dad did it.
Did he ever ask you specifically for any consideration, as we say in the business, in exchange for the information he was giving you?
He wanted to be put into witness protection program. He never asked for any consideration like you're talking about, like as far as plea bargains. I think there was some discussed, but he didn't give us any information that we could verify. But he was wanting basically to give this information to get put on a witness protection program.
There was no agreement between you and he or his representative that if he sat and talked to you, he was going to get A, B, C in return?
Not me. The prosecutor might have made.
You're talking about Sinkovics?
No, Prosecutor McClellan. He probably communicated with Jess
Sinkovics. Real quick. Hi, Angela. I miss you so much. I hope that you are doing okay. I hope your son is doing just great in the world and in life. I miss you, and I'm so glad to see your beautiful face. Do you know that?
I know there was communications, but I don't know of any pleas.
Deals that were struck?
Right.
So at the time that your team sat down with him and talked to him, you're not aware of any deals that were made that he would get something in return for providing information, whether accurate or not accurate?
No.
Why are you hesitating? Why are you kind of hesitating?
At one point, I know the prosecutor was going to offer him immunity, but I think that's different from what you're asking. That's why I'm kind of hesitating. As far as, hey, if you communicate, we'll give you this many years or whatever, I wasn't involved in any of that. Mm-hmm.
Now that he's in jail, now that he's convicted, has there been any attempt to reach out to his legal representatives to forward your investigation in any way?
Not yet.
You think that still possibly may happen?
Yes.
Why is it that you would want to do that at this point?
I think you always wanted to give him a second chance, or in this case, maybe a fifth, sixth chance, to be honest, and make things right if he knows anything.
So the idea is he's been sitting for a while now on this other case, and he might come up with a different version because he's seeing the world differently now?
Well, I think his world has changed. He was in luxury Miami County, and now he's in a correctional facility, which is obviously different people there. I don't know what goes through their minds when they get there, but I think he knows it's for real now. Maybe if he does have any information.
Do you know if he's filed an appeal in his case?
So basically, he just showed like his way of thinking. We're going to put him in this miserable ass place and see if he changes his mind about whether he did something or not. Same as they did to Rick.
But they already did that, and so he does change his mind, and it's still all lies, and it's such a waste of money that anybody would ever think that he's going to tell them the truth is also just kind of hysterical at this point. Like, that just doesn't even make any sense.
All right, I do not know that, no.
Do you know where he is?
RDC, regional.
Let's talk about Tony Klein. Was he a suspect in the case at any point?
Yes.
And all these agencies still working his angle too?
Yes.
Was there a point in time when he was definitively excluded?
I think so. I mean, we exhausted all other efforts.
But you just said that these agencies are still working his angle. You just said that. So how is what? Tell me how that happened.
At this time, with the information we have, we can't put him in Delphi or on the bridge. He was, through the forensic evidence that we got through the digital phone data, he also was given a polygraph, and there's no evidence. We searched his house, we searched his phones, like I said, and there's no evidence indicating his involvement.
Did he have an alibi on that particular day that you were able to confirm?
I don't recall. I think he had an alibi, but I can't recall. Dave Vito would be a great person to ask about anything Keegan and Tony Klein related.
Do you recall him taking a polygraph?
I do.
What do you recall the result to be?
Like I said earlier, he passed the polygraph. Or did I say that earlier? I thought I did.
You referenced it, but I don't remember what you said.
Yeah.
Was this polygraph conducted by this examiner in Lafayette?
No, it was not.
New technique?
No, it was Matt Collins, I believe, with the state police.
Was Tony Klein cooperating with you at all times during the investigation?
Not all times, but I don't think any defendant cooperates all the time. Well, he wasn't a fucking defendant, so, but okay. All right, sir.
Tell me what you remember about him not cooperating.
I mean, he showed up and we talked to him. He lied to us quite a bit about, we had surveillance on him. And when we called him, he said he was working when he was actually out in his garage drinking a beer because we had surveillance on him. So he lied to us. So I think that's not cooperative. If you're lying to the police, I don't think you're cooperating.
He lied to you about little stuff?
Little stuff, yeah. Multiple times when we confronted him about his involvement, he would stop cooperating or just get up and walk out, things like that. I can't remember if we got consent to search his house or if we had a search warrant. I believe it was a search warrant.
Did you ever know, was there ever any, I'll call it forensic connection made between Tony Klein and these girls' digital forensic information?
No.
Were you able to determine definitively that Tony Klein was not utilizing his son's digital devices?
No.
There's still that possibility.
That is a possibility.
Those two were living in the same house.
A short period of time, yeah. They were living together during that time frame, but then Keegan moved out.
And when you say during that time frame, in the weeks leading up to this circumstance?
Yes.
The February 13th incident?
Yes.
Do you know, or is there any information that suggests that Keegan Klein had any connection with any kind of hate groups, extremist groups, or anything of that nature?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Again, I guess the same questions with regard to Tony Klein.
Do you want to get a bath?
I really do.
Hold on. Hold on.
All right, this is going to get interesting. They're watching the Kleins, no, after, but what he's saying is, hey, Mark and Betty, what they're saying is that they put them under surveillance when they started. So Keegan Klein took a polygraph in 2017 that he passed, and then Tony Klein took one in 2019, I want to say. Somebody in chat might know the exact year, but it was definitely like years later. So when they were actually like going after Keegan Klein as a suspect in this case, because remember, they went and searched him and did all this stuff back in 2017 and nothing ever came of it. He just went on his merry way. And then they brought it all back up in like 2019. So that's when he supposedly is telling them all this stuff about his dad. And then they go and they put the dad, Tony, under surveillance. And that's when he's not cooperating. And he's essentially saying, when we started asking him about his involvement in this case, he's not cooperating because he's telling you, no, I didn't have anything to do with it. And then you keep asking and he just fucking walks away because he doesn't have to talk to you legally, whether you're watching him drink a beer or not. He doesn't have to talk to you. I just love like the things they use to rule out all these other suspects, like, are not okay for Richard Allen. His phone showed that he was at home. You know, the phone shows the phone is at home. So that, you know, obviously he's not at the scene. But Richard Allen's phone shows he's at home, which doesn't matter. Elvis Field's phone shows he's at home, so obviously he's not at the scene. Like how to make those things make sense.
All right, I'm ready.
Richard Allen is guilty because he stopped cooperating during their questioning of him. All these other people don't cooperate. We know Ron Logan's like, fuck you guys, you pieces of shit. And then you got Keegan Klein, who's obviously, they might think he's cooperating, but is it really cooperating if you're just making up stories and telling them and having them spend millions of dollars to go after whatever, you know, rabbit hole that you've told them about? They said that KK passed a polygraph back in 2017. Yeah. And Tony passed his. I think it's 2019, but if somebody knows it to be a different year, just let me know. But he passed his also. Yeah, the facts to suit them. It's like, well, Richard Allen wasn't cooperative, so he's guilty. What makes
All
me
right.
want? Okay. Sorry, I don't know where I went. Okay, here. What about Dave Liebert? Do you know Dave Liebert?
Personally, no.
That's right. Holy snakes, that really is. I mean, that's the bottom line. We used to question whether it was incompetence or if it was actually, well, I think we determined it was actually just incompetence. So I think we just left it at that. Okay, so was Dave Liebert ever a suspect in this case?
Yes.
And tell me why he was a suspect.
Location where he lived. We called him the gatekeeper. There's a gate that you have to access to go back to Weber's property. And when we were out there, when we were following up the investigation, other officers were like, this guy's the gatekeeper because he would let them in and out of that. He was interviewed, and I don't recall by who. His wife was interviewed. He cooperated for the most part until we asked for consent on a couple of things. I do believe we searched his residence. I'd have to refer to reports to tell you anything about that search. Offered him a polygraph, and I think he denied taking the polygraph. That's all I know about it.
Okay, so once again, why was he a suspect?
Because of location.
Okay, so all the other people who lived there were also suspects?
I reckon.
So when you say he wasn't cooperative, one of the things was the polygraph.
Yes.
Help me out here a little bit. Maybe you can answer this. So that road, you said he was the gatekeeper, right? That road that goes back, I guess kind of to the northeast, I think towards the river, and then goes more toward the east. I think it kind of winds around the bank. It's plated as a county road. Is it, in your opinion, that's a private drive?
That's what I believe.
I know there's a sign there, but I've seen people put signs up in their yard when they didn't have the right to do that. So let me ask you this question. Have you dealt with access to that roadway?
I've had access to it. I've been there, but I always thought it was a private drive to Mr. Weber's house.
And I'm almost positive that gate actually belongs to the Webers.
Correct.
So that's funny. Bicycle Road is the the Maxwell's, not the Lieberts. Yes, this is just 625. This is just the little private drive that goes under the bridge that we've talked about with the white van and all of those, all the things that lead up to Weber's. This is that. There's a gate at the end of that Weber. I'm 99.9% sure it's actually owned by the Webers, and it's their gate, and that he was in charge of locking it.
Right.
So the gatekeeper being
Is Weber.
Liebert is weird to me. I mean, maybe just like looking to see like who the hell's driving back there because it might nosy neighbor type of thing.
That
But
could
also,
be.
remember, Teresa Liebert is the one who saw some rando
With her husband.
Right.
Like
So
they were together.
So now they make him a suspect. And so they just discount anything she had to say. So her seeing some weirdo out by their house and by their mailboxes just becomes non-existent.
Basically.
Teresa Liebert is Tobe Lesenby's aunt-in-law.
It's his wife's aunt. Tobe's.
I know you don't like the way I say it. You make it right every time I do it too. It's funny.
Tobe's wife. It was because when you say his aunt-in-law, I gotta sit here and I make it way too overly complicated.
You simplify.
In my head, I'm like, so his aunt's cousins, his cousin's mom, his his cousin's husband's mom.
It's his wife's aunt. Yeah, I got you.
Step uncle-in-law.
So, well, Shibby, supposedly the Webers did have a ton of trail cams, but they weren't working at the time. That's according to Kay.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining, Critical True Crime. Okay.
20.
Were you getting permission to go on there when you were?
Yes.
Or were you just going on because I'm a police officer?
No, we would contact the Webers. I believe the mom has a different name. So Brad Weber and his mom is remarried, but I can't remember her name. But we would always call them and ask them, and they told us anytime we needed to go there. They didn't like the media and other people going out there, but law enforcement was pretty much would cooperate, and they let us go out there anytime. But common courtesy, we would always try to notify them when we were going.
Did Dave Liebert have an alibi that day?
Yes, I believe his wife.
They were together at home.
Yes.
So he was in the vicinity for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Shaking your head yes?
Yes.
So your position is his alibi was his wife saw him sitting on the couch or whatever.
I don't know the exact specifics, but yes.
Did you ask her to take a polygraph?
Me personally, no. Whoever was the investigators, I believe they did, and neither one of them, I'd have to look at a list, but off the top of my head, I don't think either one of them took a polygraph.
Do you know if you asked her, and maybe I missed this, but you asked her and she wasn't willing or she just didn't?
I think they obtained an attorney, and the attorney advised them not to, if I recall.
Are you familiar with any hate groups, extremist groups that Dave Liebert was associated with?
No.
Jimmy Dale Duvall, do you know who that is?
Yes.
And do you know Jimmy Dale Duvall personally?
No.
You just know him from this investigation?
Yes.
Okay, was he a suspect in this case?
Yes.
And tell me why.
We received quite a few tips on him. I can't remember where he worked. I think over Chrysler, maybe, if I remember correctly. And he had taken a day off that day. And so a lot of people from Chrysler were calling in tips on him, saying he shaved his head, he got a haircut, shaved his head, changed his appearance, and was off that day. So they assumed he did it. I think he had a criminal history that people knew about, and I don't know exactly what it was, but I think it was something to do with underage girls, but I'd have to refer to that. We got a lot of tips on sex offenders and things like that early on. But Jimmy Duvall cooperated. His alibi was his mother. His mother said he was home and he worked on his vehicle all day. Mom confirmed that he was home from like 12 to 6, and then she doesn't know for sure, but never saw him left. But he was pretty much all day he had an alibi, and it was his mother.
Okay, hold please. I'm going to look for something real quick. Let me see if I have it handy, and if I don't, then I'll just make a note to find it later. No. Let me ask you this kind of as a broad-based question. So every time that your team, I'll say, worked an alibi, it was always sounds like based on what occurred between 12 and let's say 5 p.m. on that day.
We had a time frame. I think it was a little bit bigger than that.
How much bigger?
I don't recall. I think it was maybe more like a couple of hours either way, 11 to 6, something like that. Yeah.
Not into the dark hours, so to speak.
No.
And with Jimmy Dale Duvall, do you know if he took a polygraph?
I don't think he did. No, I don't remember.
Do you know if he was asked?
I'm going to say that we had kind of a strategy. So if it was state police, and I can't remember with Duvall, asked for consent to get DNA, asked for consent to search anything, digital, asked him to take a polygraph. If you can't confirm their alibi, we would confirm a lot of people's alibis. So this one was obviously not as solid as others. But they would interview that person, say, hey, was he there? She did get interviewed. I remember that. I don't know by who, 280. So we had a process that detectives were supposed to, but they're humans. We know how that works. But if they follow the process, then yes, he was offered. But I don't think he took one. He may have.
Okay. Was he associated with any extremist groups or religious radicals or anything like that that you're aware of?
Not to my knowledge.
Hey, Brad Holder. Do you know Brad Holder?
Not personally, but through the investigation, yes.
Okay. And was Brad Holder a suspect?
Not really, no.
What do you remember about Brad Holder's involvement?
Brad Holder's son, Logan Holder, was dating, I don't know if it was dating with junior high kids, but was talking to Abby, dating Abby. He was in school at the time of the homicides, but because of that, Then we looked into Brad. Brad had an alibi. I don't remember. I think he was at work, if I remember correctly. But that's how we ended up interviewing him.
Okay, so my question then to Jerry Holeman is, all these people have these alibis, but yet up here when asked if they were considered suspects, you said yes. But when I ask you about Brad Holder and ask you if he was a suspect, you say no because he had an alibi. But all these other people who also had alibis were considered suspects.
Right.
Or they deemed had alibis. Same question about the alibi. Again, I'm going to ask you if this is the same time frame that you talked about earlier, like 11 a.m. to 6-ish, or you said an hour or two either way. If that's not true when we're talking about alibis, then would you let me know?
Yes.
Because I'm assuming that's the time frame you were focused on.
That is.
Okay, so I kind of cut you off. I'm sorry for that. So Brad Holder you're telling me that telling me then was never really eliminated as a suspect because he wasn't?
He was.
I think you told me not to be technical, but you said he wasn't really a suspect.
He wasn't really a suspect because we encountered him through his son, and his son was at school. And then we ended up talking to him. And you're throwing a lot at me, and I tried to review all this, but I believe Brad Holder was at work at the landfill.
Which landfill?
Liberty
landfill. Where's that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
You don't know how far away from the trail it is or how?
No, it's not in this county.
Okay.
He was at work from sometime in the morning or early in the morning. He went to work early in the morning and didn't get off until after this time frame that I'm talking about. Wrong.
Didn't get off until after 6. What an idiot. Did you ever polygraph him?
I don't think so, no.
Did anybody ever, well, let me ask you this. Was he a part of any, extremist groups or hate groups or all these kind of questions I've been asking?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about that.
He was involved with another gentleman named Patrick Westfall that we found out through this investigation that was into some, in my words, some cult type.
Interesting. What cult?
I don't think it's really a cult, but just a different bizarre type religion. There's only like 8 people involved where they would worship other things other than God. But Patrick Westfall was non-cooperative and wouldn't really talk to us. But I believe he had an alibi. He said he was at home. So those two are connected. Jeez.
He had an alibi that he was at home.
And then wouldn't talk to you. So he was clear.
Wasn't cooperative.
Okay.
And only 8 people are involved in this bizarre type religion.
Mm-hmm.
There's only 8 people. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Westfall and Holder.
Mm-hmm.
Where was Holder living at the time?
I'd have to check the report.
Somewhere local?
No, Logansport area. I'm guessing Cass County. That's where her son went to high school, I believe, or middle school or whatever.
Did Logan have any... I shouldn't say Logan. That was his son. Did Brad Holder have any direct contact with either one of these girls?
I don't think he did. I think he knew very little about, we're talking about 13, 14-year-old in relationships. So I'm not sure they were going on dates and things like that. I think they were just talking to each other.
I'm not talking about Logan. I'm talking about Brad Holder.
That's what I'm saying. His son. It wasn't like she was over at the house all the time or they were going on dates. It was more of a communication. Kids these days, Snapchatting, and that was their relationship.
Do you know if they were ever in the same airspace? I mean, there's a connection here, Logan Holder.
Brad?
You've got a suspect whose son was dating one of the girls.
Right.
Now you're agreeing he's a suspect. I want to make sure we're on the same page. So this isn't Jimmy Dale Duvall is what I'm talking about.
Right.
Do you know if Brad Holder was ever in the same airspace as those girls? Like they were at the same place together communicating?
He was interviewed. I don't recall him ever saying that he was with Abby and Logan when they were dating or anything like that. I don't think he really knew her, but I'd have to refer to the report to be exact. And like I said, he was at work during the time frame that we're talking about.
Do you know how long he worked that day?
We did check and there wasn't any video, but there was records of him clocking in and out. I'd have to check on that.
Okay. Did anyone else ever communicate to you, I guess, about any of these guys? Maybe I'll go back through them. That in this case, Brad Holder accepted any responsibility for this act.
No.
You know that he said, hey, I was involved in this, or I know something about it, or anything like that.
No, absolutely not.
Did anyone else ever communicate to you that Brad Holder was engaged in any kind of activities that would have drawn suspicion toward him regarding these acts?
No.
Okay. I'm going to just go back as quick as I can. The last two questions I asked, anything with Jimmy Dale Duvall?
No.
Liebert?
No.
I think we covered the Kleins. That's a little bit more broad.
Yeah.
Ron Logan, that he was ever involved in anything suspicious?
No. No.
Or that would have caused you to believe he knew something about these crimes?
No.
And certainly didn't accept any responsibility for them.
No, he did not.
Did you work with who was the officer or officers that focused on this kind of hate crime angle? We talked about this earlier today, right? This crime scene stuff. Who were the officers that kind of spent time focusing on that aspect of the case, like talking to the Purdue people and talking to the FBI people?
That would have been Steve Buckley and Dave Vito. He didn't talk to the Purdue people because that was before, but he talked to the U.S. Marshals behavior analysis and relayed that information that we talked about earlier to Unified Command.
Anybody else that would have worked? I think the right word would be angle of the case.
Well, I mean, there was multiple troopers that thought they were Googling it, you know. Experts, no. The only experts I know that were contacted were the ones that we already discussed.
Okay. Do you remember any other troopers that were interested in this kind of stuff?
There were several. I know we had, I can't think of his name. Nate. He works for Nick now. He was into some gang activities, stuff like that. We actually had him looking into some stuff for us and following up, but he never found anything. Nathan Myers. Sorry. And there was, like I said, there was other officers that had no experience, but they were, going off of assumptions, I guess.
Do you recall Winters ever coming to you and asking you about any of these hate crimes or hate groups and communicating with you about his concerns?
Winters?
Yeah, Ryan Winters. Trooper. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Ryan Winters?
Trooper Winters.
Yes.
Okay, that was complicated to get there. Okay, what do you recall about that?
Basically that, and I told him we were covering that angle and that we had talked to people. Yeah, there's...
What about Murphy?
Murphy, not so much. Huh.
What about Purdy?
Purdy? He thought it was, and there was another...
What do you remember about Purdy?
Same thing, he thought it was.
What did you tell him?
Same thing that I just told you, that it was a concern, but we'd already looked into it, and we had professionals saying that it was not.
What about this officer down here in Terre Haute that was unfortunately killed? Ferenczi or something.
Greg?
Yeah, what about him? Did he ever come to you and communicate to you that he had concerns about hate groups being involved in any of this?
I don't recall if he did, but I know he worked with us on some tips that were down there. I don't know as they were ever hate.
Anything that was meaningful to you?
Elvis Fields.
Okay.
We talked about Elvis Fields.
Yeah, he's 14. We'll get there. Anybody else?
I don't recall.
Okay, maybe I already asked you this. We're going to finish with Brad Holder. Was he ever excluded as a suspect? The answer, I think, was yes.
Yes, I should say this just to clarify. I don't really like your verbiage on excluded. We called it covered. We covered him. We exhausted every lead. He was at work. If we got new information on him, then we would open that back, which we've done on multiple people. So no one was ever fully excluded. We should say covered. That way, if we did get new information at this time, they're covered. But if tomorrow somebody calls and says something different, then we would, on everybody you're going to ask me.
Okay, so was Brad Holder covered?
Covered.
Jimmy Dale Duvall covered?
Yes. Yes.
Dave Liebert covered?
Yes.
Tony Klein?
Yes.
Keegan Klein?
Yes.
Ron Logan?
Yes.
Let's talk about Rick Redhawk. Do you know Rick Redhawk?
Not personally, no. I know.
I don't know this name.
Neither.
Who's looked into this guy already? I mean, so far, everybody else I know.
Rick Redhawk. All right, keep going so maybe we can figure it out.
Okay. Hey, Jelena. Okay. Was Rick Redhawk ever a suspect in this case?
We received tips on him. I think he was one of the sex offenders, multiple sex offenders we received tips on. I don't recall much about Rick Redhawk other than I know he was followed up on.
Okay. So you don't have any independent recollection of him as you sit here today. Like, was he excluded? That's my word. But I'm asking the question so I can use whatever word I want.
You can use it. I believe he was covered.
Yellow. Yeah, that's. I'm thinking that's the case. Okay. And do you know who worked that angle of the investigation?
I believe that was Tony Liggett, the county, I believe.
Would Tony Liggett have been a party to conversations regarding these, what I've described as hate groups, extremist groups, in the context of unified command?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Would he have been a part of all of that?
Yes.
And were those things discussed within unified command, or were those types of groups just discussed kind of on the side?
Oh, it was all discussed in unified command.
So this Rosie's the one asking questions right now. Baldwin will come in later, but right now it's Rosie. So Rick Redhawk, any connection to Abby, Libby that you can recall?
I can't recall. Like I said, I don't remember much about Rick Redhawk other than I know he was on your list, so I kind of looked into it, but I don't recall much about him.
Okay, so Michael David Schmidt. Did you know him?
I don't remember him at all.
You don't have any independent recollection of him?
I reviewed some of my records. I think he was another one of the multiple sex offenders. Early on, we were hitting the sex offender list. I think that was where he was from, but I don't know much about him.
Okay, so if I start asking all these other questions, you're going to give me the I don't know answer?
Yes, I don't know.
Is there anything about him other than what you just uttered that you remember as you sit here today?
No, I do not.
Okay, Patrick Westfall, do you know him?
Yeah, we talked about him a little bit already.
Tell me how you know him.
Brad Holder was in some sort of religious group with him.
Yesterday we talked about a group called the Odinites. Jeez, I remember when they were calling them this. Or maybe it was 2 days ago, I forget.
Odinism.
Odinism or something, yeah. The words were used. Is that what you're talking about?
I think that's what his focus was on, something similar to Odinism.
Him being who?
Patrick Westfall.
Was Patrick Westfall a suspect in this case?
No, I wouldn't consider him a suspect.
Can you explain to me what the investigation around him would have entailed?
Because we knew Brad Holder, Logan Holder, that he was involved with him, and we found out we got tips that he was into that Odinism type religion. We kind of looked into that aspect. But Patrick Westfall was not cooperative. And I'm not talking about the not cooperative, kind of not cooperative. He was not cooperative.
What?
So I guess you could be a suspect if you you could be not a suspect if you just absolutely fucking flat out refuse to cooperate.
That's pretty much what we're picking up from here.
He says, and I'm not talking about the not cooperative kind of cooperative. Not cooperative. He was not cooperative. Oh, yeah. Ask your next question.
So I have to. I'm confused because they keep talking about all these tips that they're getting based on this. Like, we got tips that he was into that Odinism type religion. Why is anybody tipping that in?
And you weren't even able to really look into the Odinist stuff if you're sitting here saying that these people wouldn't cooperate, and you basically then couldn't really look into them.
Right, and his alibi is just that he's at home. I don't know. Why is anybody tipping in anything about Odinism? If supposedly nobody knows there's anything out there at the scene that would make it Odinism. Why would that
I
even
think
be something?
I think people were tipping in like people that they thought were shitbags that run in the same group that are practicing Odinism.
But
Does that
how
make
would
sense?
anybody in the public know anything about Odinism to even tip it in?
Because they were very like they weren't quiet about it.
Who wasn't?
Brad and Patrick and all of them, and they went to like things in Fort Wayne, like
No, I'm talking about from the crime scene. Why would anybody in the public? This is the same thing I asked about Boucher from Georgia. Why does anybody in the public even think to tip in something about Odinism if they don't know anything about the crime scene?
so there were probably rumors, number one, but number two, it's not clear that they're saying that they think the tips they're not it's not clear that they're saying that the tips that were coming in were referencing like a connection to Odinism. It's more or less sounds like they're just saying this person should be looked into and they practice this thing called Odinism and these are the other people they practice it with and it looks weird. They do bloats and drink mead from horns with beard hair in them.
And you think that this is because there's this select few like troopers and investigators that are contemplating Odinism because of their initial reactions to the crime scene, and now they're out questioning people in the public about it, so it's getting around. And then other people are like, "Ooh, that Patrick Westphal dude, he's into Odinism, or Norse paganism, or whatever." Like, so people start tipping it in because people know what people are being questioned about at the time.
Could be. And Andy, that's even better because he straight up was like, Murphy, I don't think he had really much to do with any of that at all.
Right, he did. He really downplayed, even like Murphy never came to him about anything.
Yep.
But Bobby Boucher seemed insistent upon making them aware of his stick pictures and girls posed like they're dead underneath branches. Right. So, like, how does a dude down in Georgia know of what this crime scene looks like to even consider sending that to anybody?
Wasn't he also
Okay.
Odinist?
I don't remember that.
Courtney will remember. I'm almost positive he's.
Boucher? Ryan Boucher? Maybe.
I'm almost positive that I looked at his page and he also has all the Odinism stuff on it.
All right,
Courtney
and
says
Young Buck
yes.
Economist, you could be right too. It could be because like everybody's tipping in all these sex offenders because they're sex offenders. So maybe people are just tipping in these Norse pagans because they know that, or they think they're weird anyway. So they're like, hey, let's tip them in because maybe they're weird and did something like this. Yellow says yes.
Yeah, I thought so.
That's more sus.
So whatever that means, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying it means something one way or the other, but I remember, like, could it be that he was in the Delphi groups and he heard rumors that sounded like stuff that might be familiar to him? You know what I mean? As an Odinist or whatever,
Right.
or like an
Maybe
actual,
kind of knowing what
like
to
an
look for.
actual one.
Yeah, like I
Not
got
like,
you.
yeah, not like these people, not like the Vinlander people.
I wonder whatever happened to Ryan. He was around when we read the Franks memo, and then I don't know. He kind of bounced. A lot of
Who?
channels were Ryan Boucher. He was in chats when we were reading through the Franks memo.
Was he really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
remember.
I chatted with him a lot online, and then he kind of bounced.
Huh. Maybe people were bothering him.
Well, yeah, he was like, people on other channels were being really fucking mean to him.
Yeah. Well, fuck you guys.
Okay, so where am I? Okay, like he didn't want any part of talking with the police. Well, yeah, no, he hated the police. Eats them.
Nope.
Did he react was he more than just resistant?
No. He wasn't disrespectful or criminal towards us. He just was adamant that he didn't like the police and wasn't going to talk to us.
Were you able to confirm that Brad Holder and Patrick Westphal were actually connected?
Yes, Brad.
That there was a relationship between the two of them?
Yes, Brad acknowledged that.
So where's Patrick Westfall from?
I don't know where he's from.
What do you know about the relationship between the two of them?
Very little other than what was told was Brad was involved in that church. I call it a church. It was like 7 or 8 people that followed the same beliefs as Patrick.
So funny that he thinks there's only like 7 or 8 people.
Yeah.
That's all. Those beliefs being what?
The Odinism type, stick formations and things like that.
Some of the things that were of concern at the crime scene with the girls.
Similar, yeah.
Did you ever receive information from any third parties about either one of these two guys? Now, we're kind of talking about them in tandem, but that they accepted any responsibility for this crime?
No.
Well, we know that Amber Holder had already come forward and said that Brad told her. Did you ever?
He's still trying to gauge what all they know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's fucking lying. I mean, This is straight lying.
He's still trying to gauge. I think that's why Rosie all of a sudden has this, like, I'm going to use my word because I'm asking the question. Like, he's just very, like, they go on a break and then they come back and he's, like, done with the bullshit. And so I think he knows at this point that Holeman is fishing to see what all they. Oh, God. That's not me. It's Teresa.
Shibby brought it up. Shibby's fault.
Naked chicken leg shower selfie. We're going to start calling him the Naked Chicken Nugget. That should be his new Snapchat name. Naked Chicken Nugget. Naked Chicken Nuggies. Nobody's ever going to eat a chicken nugget again.
Gross. Did you
He does
ever?
kind of look like a chicken nugget. And not a good one either. Not like a Tyson. He looks like a great value.
Did you ever receive any information from any third parties or even through law enforcement sources that either one of them were engaged in any suspicious activity that might have been connected to the crime?
Nope.
Did you personally talk to either one of these guys?
No, I did not.
Are you aware whether or not Patrick Westfall was connected in any way to Abby or Libby?
No.
And you told me, I'm going to ask about polygraphs. He wasn't willing to even talk to you.
Correct.
Shut you down from the very beginning.
Yes.
Because he wouldn't talk to you. Did you ever communicate, or any of your staff members communicate with any of his relatives or anybody connected with him to try and gather information?
I believe so. I know they were actively investigating his social media and things like that, trying to locate anybody that might be willing to talk to us about him at all. I don't recall.
Any of that come to fruition?
I don't recall. I'd have to look back at the reports.
Do you remember any conversations with Unified Command about this guy and I guess Holder again?
Oh, yeah, yes.
What do you remember about those conversations that maybe we haven't already talked about?
Nothing. Just same thing. We would give updates on everybody. Hey, what can we do? What did we do? Things like that.
Was there any connection between those two guys and anything unique at the crime scene?
No, other than what we talked about. What did we talk about? He says, and just go ahead. Sorry, I shouldn't.
And just to clarify, what is that?
The Odinism stick formation type thing was similar, but not exact.
I don't know. The one on Abby is exactly like the one. I mean, if it wasn't like a taboo thing, like I wish people would see that the sticks on Abby are legit the exact same formation. Lengthwise, everything. It's like, it's crazy.
Also, how's that not a nexus? The question is literally, was there any connection between those two guys and anything unique at the crime scene? And he says, no, other than what we talked about, which means yes. What we talked about, yes, is the connection between those two guys and the unique thing at the crime scene. Well, what is it? The Odinism, the stick formations.
Yeah, but they ruled them out. So they got rid of the
Doesn't
nexus.
matter. It doesn't matter. That's the nexus between these two and the crime scene. That's the nexus.
Right.
Exactly, Chelsea. That be a nexus.
So Yellow Jacket says the whole FBI did in fact interview him within the first week of the murders. So I don't actually know what Jerry's talking about. I think he's downplaying anything to do with these people.
Again, he has to, because he's trying to see what Rosie knows. You have to remember, he's like been blindsided by all this. So he's on the fly trying to come up with, like,
yeah, he doesn't even know that any of these people are supposed to be coming up.
Right. The only thing he kind of did have a heads up on was that he might be asking about these particular people because it sounds like Rosie and them gave him like a list of people they were going to ask him about, but just putting like Brad Holder and Patrick Westfall on the list doesn't necessarily mean that they know everything about all the Odinism stuff and all that stuff. So he's trying to pick and prod and see if they know all the things, or like, so far he's not been confronted with the fact that Todd Click sent in stuff, and you know what I mean?
Right.
He hasn't been confronted with any of that yet.
Well, I also think that was part of why like some of these other rando quote unquote suspects come up, is just to like throw in.
So
Like,
he
we're
thinks
just
it's
talking
all
about,
the people we're asking about, not
yeah,
just
we're talking about random ass suspects. We don't
Right.
have any. We know nothing yet.
right. Yep.
Okay, so how did this investigation with these two guys kind of come to a conclusion then?
What do you mean?
Indy
What?
City said, I looked at the White Lives Matter logo. It looks like an X with a line as a lightning bolt in the middle. Members of the Vinlanders and then the American Guard member. Just saying. I do recall seeing that. I don't recall like looking into what the meaning of it was, but
I literally don't even remember anything about White Lives Matter at all.
I remember looking into it when we were just looking into the Vinlanders. So many streams ago, like there's just so much. This is why like I might really just need to write it all down and put it in documentary form.
Huh.
Well, is it over, or are you still looking into this?
No, we're not looking into it. There's nothing more for us to do on either one of those.
They're covered?
Covered. Thank you.
Thomas Lincoln Wallace. What can you tell me about Thomas Lincoln Wallace? Was he a suspect?
I can't remember on Thomas Wallace, to be honest with you. I didn't get that far in my...
Okay, you don't really have any independent recollection?
No, I don't.
So if I ask you most of these questions I've asked you about the other people, your answer is going to be?
I really can't remember anything about Thomas Wallace at this point. I'd have to... I didn't get that far in reviewing last night. I'm sorry. I tried.
How about Brad Weber?
I do recall Brad Weber.
Was he a suspect?
No, I wouldn't call him a suspect, no.
Was he a person of interest? I hate that phrase.
He was staying at the property right above the crime scene in his parents' house, but he was covered as well.
In your opinion, why was he covered?
He was at work. We verified work records. He said he got home around 2:30, but we think it's later than that because he got off around 2. But then he also operates an ATM machine business, so he went and collected money from the ATMs, which would have taken a few minutes. So we think he got home a little bit later.
So you're telling me, Jerry, that you know that Rick Allen, your suspect, could not have possibly seen a white van driven by Brad Weber at 2:30? Is that what you're telling me here?
Yes, but I can't tell you why nobody would have brought this up to confront him with it on the
I
stage.
don't fucking understand it. Within your time frame, but you still didn't put a lot of credence in that.
Did you say it?
So within your time frame, but you still didn't put a lot of credence in that.
Later, he said he went home, took a nap, and woke up by the search party later in the evening, around 5:30 or 6, I believe. I may be off on the time.
So he might have been home around from 3 to 5 or so without any kind of firm alibi other than he said he was home.
Absolutely.
Which was close to the scene.
It was on what you and I are calling the Weber side.
Weber side.
So across the creek.
Any association with any hate groups or extremist groups?
No.
What about drug groups? Any association with drug groups? Did you ever receive any tips from any other third parties or outside parties saying, hey, this guy is somebody you really need to be looking at because he did this or did that, or he's acting this way.
Not that I recall, no.
Okay, so they never considered Brad Weber a suspect, but yet took Brad Weber's gun and
Right.
ejected
Tested it.
rounds to test it.
Uh-huh.
Yes, Carrie Cherry, he did. But we also have him connecting to his home at like 2:54, if I remember the time correctly.
Here's the thing. This shows, in my opinion, that when Nick allowed the testimony to make it seem like he was driving down the road at 2:30, he was lying, because even Holeman a year prior said that he thought it was later than 2:30, and it was.
Without a doubt. They allowed him to lie on the stand, knowing he lied on the stand. 125 bazillion %.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how about Daniel Nation? Do you know Daniel Nation?
Personally, no.
Was he a suspect?
I wouldn't call him a suspect, but he was brought up because of a crime that occurred out in Colorado.
What was that crime?
He was on a trail and attempted to attack somebody with a hatchet or something.
Was he from around here?
He was from Indiana. We put him in Indiana, but we could not get him near Delphi. His alibi was he was with his, I don't want to call her his wife, baby mama, I don't know. His girlfriend or wife was pregnant. He was at a doctor's appointment during the time, several hours away from here. He was from Indiana, but he was down south.
So you think you were able to kind of clear his alibi, so to speak?
Covered him with all the knowledge that we had, and investigative would have been Jay Harper and Steve Buckley went to Colorado and interviewed him, and then interviewed other people as well.
Do you know if he had any connection whatsoever to either one of the girls?
No, I do not.
I mean, like social connection or family connection?
No, we didn't find anything.
That's what I mean by connection.
Right.
What about any kind of social media connection?
No connection that we found.
Derek German. Do you know Derek German?
I do. That's Liberty's father.
And was Derek German a suspect?
No.
Was he somebody that you vetted, so to speak?
We interviewed him because he was supposed to pick up the girls. He went there and they obviously weren't found. And he called family members and they started looking for them. He was interviewed several times.
My partner was writing notes to me, and I'm sorry.
Sure.
My attention was divided. Tell me again what you just said.
He was supposed to pick up Liberty and Abby at the trailhead at a certain time. He was working in Logansport with his mother. He's like an appraiser or something.
Okay.
And obviously, when he got there, they didn't show up. So then he immediately started calling family members, and they went out on the trail looking for the girls.
Was Derek German, ever associated with any of these hate groups, fascist groups, extremist groups?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Any of the ones we talked about?
No.
Did Derek German have a criminal history that you were aware of?
Yes, he did.
What can you tell me about that?
My personal past histories with him was he was involved in manufacturing methamphetamine. I don't know exactly what he got charged with, but I know he was recently released from the DOC.
Did his history cause some concerns amongst your staff about his potential involvement in the case?
Some concerns, yes, but we covered most of those.
Did he ever work as a confidential informant for the police that you were aware of?
Not that I'm aware of.
Have you heard that come up before, that conversation or that comment?
I've heard that, yes.
You don't know the answer to that?
No, he was never a confidential informant for me or anybody I work with.
I'm not making this stuff up. It's something I've heard.
Oh, yeah.
You've heard it.
It's a strong possibility, but I don't know that.
No, it's a strong possibility that he was an informant for a different agency. Huh. Were you aware of any tension or friction that existed within the family at the time of these incidents that would have caused you to believe that he might have been involved in this crime?
The German family?
Yes.
No.
Or either one of the girls' families?
No.
Do you know if Derek German communicated with any of these other people that we talked about on this list? Like, was he associated with them?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Elvis Fields. You actually told me earlier you knew Elvis Fields. Who is Elvis Fields?
We received a tip on him. His sister was convinced that he killed Abby and Libby. That would be Murphy, Purdy, probably Jay Harper, myself. There's a bunch of people involved in that one.
Was he a suspect?
I mean, we had a tip on him.
Tell me what the tip was again.
His sister believed that he killed the girls.
Who is his sister?
Good question. I can't remember her name.
Why did his sister believe that he killed the girls?
Well, she basically thought that she thought he was down here. We could never put him here we could never get any evidence putting him close to Delphi.
Did you try?
Yes, we interviewed him. We interviewed the sister. We interviewed his roommates. We interviewed multiple people. I'm not sure if he had a phone. I know he didn't have a vehicle or anything like that. But yeah, we tried to. We exhausted every investigative lead on all these people.
You said down here. I heard you say down here. Down here from where?
Actually, up here. Sorry.
Okay.
Connorsville area, maybe.
Did you personally talk to Elvis Fields?
I sat in an interview with Kevin Murphy.
Was Elvis Fields cooperative with your investigative team?
I believe so, yes.
Did you participate in any conversations with his sister?
No, I did not.
Was she cooperative with the team beyond giving you a tip?
She was cooperative, but it was the investigators that talked to her were convinced that she had some mental issues.
What were those?
I'm trying to be nice and say mental issues.
Be honest.
They just said she was crazy. 1096 was the term, I believe, that she was just out there, and none of the information was making sense as she was giving them.
What was the information?
You'd have to ask. Kevin would know, or I'm sure Jay interviewed her, but it was Rich Davies maybe too. We all went down there one day and did a lot of interviews, but I don't remember.
In Connorsville?
I think it was Connorsville, yeah.
You went down there as a team?
Mm-hmm.
You're shaking your head yes?
Yes, sorry.
When was that?
Years ago, before COVID.
And if you took a whole team down there, something piqued your interest, right?
There's points where, we get information and we need to act fast. And there was multiple people to interview. So there was a roommate, him, a sister, and a mother. So we took basically probably 2 people per interview, and then maybe some extra just in case we needed to go interview some other people.
And did this just occur in a short period of time, kind of intense?
What are these random 280s for?
I don't know. It's got to be something that she puts in there and then it doesn't get translated over in the processing of the transcript.
For the team, yeah. I mean, Purdy and Murphy worked it beyond that and before that. And when they were ready to go interview, we put together a team. We did that a lot. It's not uncommon. If there's multiple people to be interviewed, we would definitely do that quite a bit.
Do you recall anybody else other than I think you said his sister, providing you with information about him?
There's a roommate, but he didn't have any information other than he thought they had no transportation, no way to get down here, pretty much homeless. I think they were living in a trailer that shouldn't have been lived in, I'll say.
So you're saying, generally speaking, you went down there kind of as a unit and then you kind of dismissed this as just not reliable?
No, we continued to follow it up. Kevin did. The rest of the team moved on to other tips and leads. Thought you said Murphy had nothing to do with any of this.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, he must be like picking up on something at this point that he needs to start talking. Because before he was like, he never heard anything from Murphy. Nothing. Murphy never gave any info. Wasn't a big deal. Doesn't think Barency did either. Was Kevin reporting to you what he was finding as he continued to follow up?
Yes.
What did he report to you?
What I said earlier, that the sister was unreliable, 1096, wasn't making sense, changing her story.
Are you familiar with any activities that Elvis Fields engaged in himself that would have been connected him in any way, with this particular crime scene?
No.
He was saying or doing anything that was like, oh, we need to focus more on him?
I think that's what the sister was saying.
I'm talking about him.
No, he denied everything, I'm pretty sure.
How about Garrett Kurtz? Do you know Garrett Kurtz?
No, of him.
Was Garrett Kurtz a suspect?
We received tips on him. Same thing. I would consider same thing as like multiple, but you got a few here. As Daniel Nation, he committed a couple of crimes that people thought because he committed those crimes, he killed 2 girls here in Delphi as well. But he was eliminated pretty quickly. I don't remember.
Alibi?
I know he was interviewed by Tony Liggett and Dave Vito, maybe, and a couple of other troopers from up north. Yeah, there was never any evidence connecting him to Delphi. Well, he did have connections here, but to the crime scene.
Okay, what were his connections here?
He had family and friends that lived in the area.
Do you remember if he submitted to a polygraph?
I think he did, as a matter of fact, and I think that was also conducted by Matt Collins, but I'd have to refer a lot of this. I'm going off of memory and summary, so I may be off a little bit.
Are you aware of any connections that Garrett Kurtz had with either of the girls?
No.
What about from a social media standpoint?
No.
Ashley Garth. Do you know Ashley Garth?
That one I don't recall anything about.
So if I ask you all those questions, your answer is going to be, I don't know?
I have no clue on that one. I could probably find some information, but I didn't have a chance.
Do you know if it's a boy or a girl?
I think it's related to Garrett Kurtz. I think it's a girl. I think it's his co-defendant that killed up in Newton County. So Garrett Kurtz killed his girlfriend. I think Ashley Garth was involved in that, but I don't know.
In this day and age, it's tough to tell.
Yeah, I get it.
It's just odd there would be a woman on here.
Nick's probably mad at me for rambling on about that because that's what I believe, but I can't confirm that.
How about Gabe Ellis?
I don't know Gabe Ellis. I think that's probably still involved with those other 2 that you just mentioned, but
Maybe connected?
I don't recall Gabe Ellis at all.
So if I ask you all those questions, your answer is going to be?
I have no clue.
You have no recollection.
No recollection of Gabe.
So, and I don't know if Rosie's going to ask or not, but he didn't ask about any connections to these religion, cult, whatever type things. And these 2 are connected. And Gabe Ellis does practice Norse paganism. So it's interesting that they're on the list. But he doesn't ask that question.
He does in this question.
Okay. So let me ask this. So we've got a list here of about 17 people. Let me ask you this. Of these 17 people, which of them do you believe may or did have ties to any kind of extremist or fascist or hate groups?
Just Patrick Westfall and Brad Weber. Sorry, Brad Holder.
Ron Logan, no.
I don't think so.
I know you're not looking at the list, so.
I know.
So I'm going to accommodate you. Keegan Klein.
No.
Tony Klein.
No.
Liebert.
No.
Duvall.
No.
Holder.
Yes.
That a yes? Rick Redhawk.
I don't know.
Schmidt.
Don't know.
Patrick Westfall.
Yes.
Thomas Lincoln Wallace.
Don't know.
Brad Weber.
No.
Daniel Nation.
No.
Derek German.
No.
Elvis Fields.
No.
Garrett Kurtz.
No.
Yes. Ashley Garth.
No clue.
Gabe Ellis.
No clue.
100% yes. And yes. So, I mean, great job investigating these fucking guys. Okay, again, these are kind of broad sweeping questions, but of this whole group of people, you mentioned that Holder and Westfall were connected, and you thought that Kurtz, Garth, and Ellis may be connected.
Possibly.
This is not a matching game.
Right, I get it.
Are there any other players here that I've mentioned that you think are connected with some other person on the list?
Just Tony and Keegan.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. So Tony and Keegan, right? And other than that, the only other connections would be Holder and Westfall, and then possibly Fields, and then Kurtz. I'm sorry, possibly Kurtz, Garth, and Ellis.
Correct.
You want to look at the list just to make sure?
I trust you.
No, you don't. Okay, that's dangerous. Give me a few seconds here.
Sure.
I was thinking about Stephanie Thompson for actually other reasons earlier, and it kind of popped back in my mind. She was involved in this case, right?
Yes.
And my understanding, she was doing polygraph exams.
Yes.
Was she doing anything? Which technique was she using? I'm just curious.
The preferred technique that the state police teaches. I don't know what it's called.
All right. Was she doing anything else in terms of investigating this particular crime? Like, you know, kind of typical investigative work,
No,
groundwork?
no, we just utilized her in the polygraph.
With regard to these suspects that I've mentioned, that's my word, 17 of them, did you ever polygraph any one of these, anyone associated with these people? So like if somebody's wife came to you and said, my husband was responsible for this, did you conduct any polygraphs kind of at a second level, if you will?
On that list, no.
They did. They polygraphed Mary. Do you want me to read the names again?
No, I'm familiar with the list. We've done that.
Okay, tell me for who.
Can you come instead?
Hold on.
Many other dudes did it, yeah. Yeah, they don't even talk about Chadwell here, which is interesting because Chadwell's actually one that there was supposedly a confession from. You didn't know that about Gabe Ellis? Oh yeah, 100%. With his buddy. It's in the Prezi, which I haven't updated in a very long time. Let me see. Yeah, they don't mention Kelsey. They don't mention Cody either. So that's also interesting. Because Cody was tipped in a bunch of times as well. Kurtz Klein connection? I don't know. Sunny would probably be the best one about, and she did a lot with Kurtz or Amy. The Jer wants, no one wants you texting them at 2 a.m. Greeno's not on the list. Hold on, you guys, real quick. Let me see. The Prezi is in, the link for the Prezi is in like every Delphi Live I think I have. But once again, like it hasn't been updated in a long time. I think I started right after trial. Let me see. And then I kind of stopped again. But I mean, it's got so much info in it. I think one of the reasons I stopped is because it's got so much in there. It just takes forever to like load. Let me see. So here's Gabe Ellis and his friend Kyle Stacy. Oh yeah, the Prezi? Yeah, it's definitely still up. It's just not up to date. Daniel Pearson was tipped in. And then his friend Kyle Stacy. See, it just takes forever. Like all this stuff takes forever to load. Oh, I am a wolf of Odin. Do not wear these as a fashion symbol. Here's his F. This is from February 11th of 2017. Talks about an Ansus, God in mouth, is very powerful rune with much to teach us on many levels. Want to focus today on the mouth aspect. Vocalization is perhaps the most basic form of magic and the most fundamental way of manifesting the will. When we speak, sing, or chant, we take a thought or an internal aspect of will, and we project and create that in Midgard. We access runic might when we raise our voices in Geldar. When we sing the runes, Odin, master of will and creation, was known by many names. I mean, this is from Kyle Stacy's Facebook. And they call each other, him and Gabe Ellis call each other blood brothers. So Gabe Ellis is the one who got caught with the underage girl. So Kokomo police have captured a man considered one of Howard County's most wanted fugitives. The Kokomo Police Department Drug Task Force and Canine Unit conducted a traffic stop in the 1800 block of East Markland Avenue. They found Gabe Ellis, 40, in the back seat of the car with a 16-year-old girl who had been reported as a runaway. He was arrested on a warrant for child exploitation and possession of child pornography. During the search, police located a firearm and methamphetamine. Ellis was also charged with dealing methamphetamine, possession of methamphetamine, and felon carrying a handgun. It does, because there's so many rabbit holes. There's so many places to go. I mean, and none of them will lead you to Richard Allen. That's the craziest part of it. So yeah, this guy's a real winner. Real winner. And then so he's okay. So to kind of keep going with this, so Tyler Joe French is also in this friendship group, and Tyler Joe French is also one that got arrested with Derek German. So they're all in the same drug ring. Right. I mean, this is a huge like group of people. Well, I think it was Dustin Prater that was actually arrested with him. Yeah, Dustin Prater was the one that was arrested with him. Thank you. Sorry, I don't know if I said the wrong one. In May 16, 2008, Derek German and Prater stole ammonia from Royster Clark, an ammonia plant in Carroll County. They stole the ammonia with the intent to sell it to a third party at some point in the future. Although they had no one in particular in mind, they assumed that the third party would use the ammonia to manufacture methamphetamine. German and Prater were apprehended by police shortly after that theft. Also friends with Gabe Ellis. Friends with Tyler Joe French. I mean, yeah. Right, that's true. But I also think that the way that the law is written in different states also comes into play. Dusty Prater, yep. So I think that also comes to like how they actually term it when they're writing it. Were they at the bridge that day? So depends on who you ask, really. So there's a group of people that were there. Oh my God, this is a whole nother rabbit hole. Like this would take forever to go down. There's like a group of people who were at the trail at around 6 a.m. that morning doing drugs. And it is said to be connected with these folk. I don't know if you guys remember the white car with the paper plates, that whole rabbit hole. That's also connected with this because the girl's mom claimed that they came and picked up her daughter in this white car with paper plates, and that she took a photo of it. Here, let me see. It's probably in here too. Where did I put the white car with paper plates? Right here. So then she took a picture of this car because she thought it was suspicious, and then yes, Tina Rodell. So that's why I'm like, this is huge rabbit holes to go back into. And that they came and picked up her daughter, and she believed at the time that they took her daughter to the bridge and essayed her. There was talk about the pair of earrings at the bridge being hers. I mean, there's just so much. Tina said that the men with her daughter were Elijah Cook, Keegan Callis, Josh Weaver, Tyler Joe French, and possibly Travis Janecki. Her son was not in the group at the time. Tina said that her daughter called her from the bridge on the 13th, that when they came home, that Megan, yes, it's Megan, somebody asked in chat, came home on the 15th. She was not in good condition. She alleged that her daughter was essayed and beaten by the men as an initiation. It was rumored that it was for the Sons of Odin group. She also claimed that her daughter came home with a pair of earrings in her pocket that have since been turned over to the FBI. That's why I'm like, there's so many places to go with this. And then like every screenshot from her social media that she posted, I have in here talking about what she believes. So then you get Garrett Kurtz and his band of misfits. So here's Garrett Kurtz, who killed Nicole Bowen. I know Amy on Case by Case has covered this case a lot. Hell, Tina and I never even talked, but we had the same suspicion since day one. Hey, Veronica. I was talking about you the other day on the live. And so then he's got the associates all with being, I don't know, with Jason Powell, same type of people. Anyway, if you guys wanted to look into that, that's all there. I think the only one I never finished, which is ironic, I don't think I ever finished Sandefur's. Because the Sandefurs are also Odin. And the Sandefurs are the ones that have Bryden Sandefer as their son. And he was invited to go to the bridge that day with the girls and turned him down. Yeah, so that's why I said I didn't get to finish all of this. And the Travis is the one that's practicing Norse paganism, who is friends with Brad Holder, and then their camera is the one that catches the white van going onto the property at like 2:40, whatever it was.
Okay, I can only do 5 more minutes.
Oh, okay.
Shit.
Okay, so we're not going to finish that. All right, so let's see. Does anybody have to take a pee break soon? I'm sure that McClellan probably will. One of the Sandifer girls was on the Hulu documentary. Yep. And Ed said, could that be my dad? On the Hulu documentary.
Yikes.
Right. Okay, so tell me for who.
I know we interviewed or polygraphed a guy's mother. You're going to have to give me a minute. I'll think of it. I'll text you at 2 a.m. How's that? What the fuck?
Well, I think he just means like I'll remember it like at a random time and then I'll text it to you. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's trying to be funny, but Brad's like, I don't give out my personal number. It's too dangerous.
Especially with this fucker. Give me a minute. I'll think of the name.
But somebody's mother, you started there.
Yes.
Was it local or do you know if it was somebody from afar?
It was, I believe, over in the Kokomo area.
Do you remember in this circumstance why you did it?
Kenneth Johnson.
Kenneth Johnson?
I believe so.
What was it? Why was Kenneth Johnson's mother being polygraphed?
Kenneth Johnson worked at Indiana Packers, took a day off. He was getting disciplined for pulling a pig's ear.
For what?
Pulling a pig's ear.
That wasn't an expression? Like you're talking like literally?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
So there was some other people involved in that investigation, and they thought he was a registered sex offender. So they polygraphed him, and it was inconclusive. His alibi was his mother. Polygraphed his mother, and she passed. Said he was at home during the time frame. And then...
Was it the non-preferred technique or a preferred technique?
Preferred technique. And then he was repolygraphed later by Matthew Collins. I can't remember who did the first one, but he passed the second one. His mother passed the first one. That's the only
time you kind of went second level here in terms of a polygraph?
that I can remember, yeah.
Okay, let's take a break. There you go.
There you go.
That works out perfect.
We can't blame Rosie, or we can't blame Nick for that one.
No.
Only this one time, though.
Only this one time.
How many
Yeah.
pages is this?
274, I believe.
So we have 74 or 69, 60, 70? No, I
Yes,
can't math.
274. We have 66 pages left.
Okay. And what page did we start today?
We started on 142 and we got to page 208.
So is that about the same?
Oh, no.
60 something?
Oh, what do you mean? Oh,
Is
that
that
we
the
read?
same? Yeah, like
Oh,
did
yeah.
we read about 60 pages?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so and that was 2 hours.
4 hours to read the whole thing, so we need another 2 hours.
Okay. We need to be like paying attention to this, like 60 some odd pages. Well, it's different when we're reading straight through and we're not talking or anything.
Right.
That goes faster, but in general, we need to like start noticing so we can, when we're trying to figure these out, in case we get any more, my fingers are still crossed.
Right.
Because we're still missing a ton. Also, I want to know, Murphy's one too. I was looking at my spreadsheet. There's like several. I don't think we've never seen Murphy's, because Murphy's would have happened right after this. But there's like other people I wonder if they were deposed. Like, I think there was another time that Holeman was deposed.
I think so. I think, well, there's Lesenby's.
Like, what about Walla? I want to see Walla's.
Did Walla get deposed?
I think she did. I think I asked somebody that, and I think they said yes, like maybe even twice, based off of her trial testimony. It might have been All Eyes, or maybe Angela. I mean, everybody hates her, so it was somebody that hates her, but that could be many people.
That's sad.
Well, she's gross, so.
Trying to remember who it was that they called in. Oh my gosh, do you guys remember who they called in? Somebody called in a tip about the Packers plant.
The bomb thing?
No. They called in the tip about the Packers plant. I swear I have it in here. Why I don't.
Or boots at the Packers place?
Well, we have that. We know that one, but the one that where the guy like posted himself online calling in his tip.
Brian Phillips.
Remember the guy called in. He calls in and he's like, "Hey, I work with this guy at the Packers plant."
They're saying Brian Phillips. Is that who you're thinking of?
No, I don't think so. Where did I put it?
Oh, yeah. I think Brian Phillips was the one that did the drawing with the fire.
I fucking don't remember. And I know I put it in here. Just where the hell would I have put it then? You guys don't remember who I'm talking about? So the guy went online and he said it was the guy that he worked with at the Packers plant, and he recorded himself making the call.
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
Seriously?
Yeah, I don't remember that at all. Now that you said that, like, I don't remember that at all. But that could be me.
That's going to drive me fucking crazy. No, I put it in here. I know this case. I hate this case. I know. It's like I forget. I don't know why I would have put it under anything other than persons of interest, where the guy would have called in. Okay, let me just look. Okay, so it's not going to be under that one. It's not going to be under the Sandefurs. It's not going to be under Logan Maxwell. I mean, I can do this on my own. I guess I don't really need to do it with you guys, but I don't know. It's bugging the shit out of me now. It's not one of these guys. There's no way. Where the fudge would I have put that? None of you guys, none of you remember what I'm talking about?
I'm glad it's not just me.
Yeah, it was like he calls it in and he records it on, and it's about the Packers plant. I cannot remember his name. So is it that just doesn't ring a bell? Wait, hold on. It's not going to be in the Keegan. Oh, I got to add the toe. I've totally got to add the toe to that. Pick that one. Yes, here it is. Okay. So it's about Ivan Brumbaugh. So his coworker, Eric Alter, believed that Ivan Brumbaugh was the one who did the murders, and he's the one who called it in. I was wondering if they talk about this Kenneth guy. It's the whole reason it came up. So Eric Alter is the one who called it in. You guys don't remember this? He like recorded himself and he put it on social media. But this doesn't have to do with Kenneth. I was trying to see if it did have to do with Kenneth, True Crime with Eve, and it doesn't. That was why I was looking for it. Did he pass away? I don't know. Somebody did. Daniel Nations is a stunning looking creature. No, it's this one. If you guys remember it now, then that's fine. The reason I wanted to find it was to see if it had anything to do with that Kenneth person being mentioned in this deposition, but it doesn't. Oh, there's no sound. The sound just started anyway. But yeah, because I didn't turn the sound on. Yeah, so sorry. But if you want to watch it, it's in the Prezi. But it doesn't have to do with Kenneth, so it doesn't really matter. And then the infamous boots. All right, I missed half of Holeman's Depot. Shit. Okay, so we're gonna have to do a part 3 because Sleuthy's got to go. So we'll do a part 3 to finish up like the last 60 or so pages that we have. I don't know. I obviously need to finish this. Maybe I should just do like something with you guys, and you guys can help me finish it. That might be better. He's so mentally ill, they ruined his life with Delphi shit. But yeah, no, can't be killing people. True. All right. So Sleuthy, are you still here to say bye or no?
Yes.
All right, you guys. So as always, thank you guys for being here with us. Well, like I said, we'll have to do a part 3 to finish up the last 60 or so pages. I'll get with Sleuthy and make sure our schedules align before I tell you guys the day we're going to do it. And other than that, as always, thank you guys for being here. And I know you have 1,000 other places that you could spend your time, and you choose to spend your time here with us. And Ange, I have a proposition for you if you might be interested. I'm going to message you and see if you would want to do what I want to do. Other than that, I love you guys. Go enjoy the rest of your Friday, and we'll see you later.
Love you. Bye.
Do you dare to follow me down? Head into the unknown. Down the rabbit hole. Where it stops, no one knows. We're going Do you dare to follow me down? Head into the unknown.